We are back on campus at the University of Miami on a spectacular morning. Our 2017 National Signing Day show from the beautiful campus of the University of Miami, as Coach Rick likes to call it, paradise. And welcome back to our signing day show. Joe Zagacki with Don Bailey Jr. DBJ, of course, played here. Was the captain, played center. Mark Rick was the quarterback. Another fellow was a quarterback as well. His name was Jim Kelly.
Yes, he was.
All right. Joining us now is University of Miami secondary coach and a former Hurricane as well. Mike Rumph is with us, and one of the priorities in this year's class was let's get some guys in the secondary, load up on some corners and safety. It looks like you were doing that, Coach, and got some good news early this morning. Javante Dean, who is a junior college player. So as we mentioned earlier, he gives you some size, but also some age in the secondary.
Yes, some experience. You know, we have a young secondary now, and Javante is a guy that's going to come in, coming from Blinn College over there in Texas, and just a talented young man. He knows what he wants to do, and he's going to fit in really well in our cornerback room.
Mike, he was important to get also because, first of all, he was committed to Alabama for a very long time, and you guys convinced him to come to the University of Miami, but he originated his high school career in South Florida.
Yes, he's a South Florida young man coming back home. Coach Bandy, Coach Diaz, and I, we all really were on him, high on him, and just stayed persistent with him to the final end. And I got a call 12 o'clock last night, and he's going to be a special player for us.
And obviously, there's going to be a chance for him to jump right into the mix. You do have Malik Young coming back, Redwine coming back, but an opportunity for him to play right away.
Yes, you know, like I said, we have a young secondary, and I'm looking for guys to come out there and compete. You know, one thing that sets the Hurricanes apart, I think, is how we compete in practice, and I just wanted to add another young man that loves to come out there and compete and do things right, and he, more than anything, he wants to be a Hurricane.
Well, Coach, you stayed home also, and you got Trajan Bandy, who was a highly recruited four-star guy, Columbus, local. He was important to make sure he was on campus as well.
Yes, Trajan has been a kid of South Florida that everybody knows about, and he really helped us in the recruiting process because everybody kind of looks up to him. So to have another competitive, just what everybody likes to call him, just a dog in the cornerback room, is going to be a great thing for us in the community and the fans as well.
I don't know if it's blasphemous to say, but Bandy, you know, you start looking around at what do guys look like or remind you of. It reminds me a little bit of LaMarcus Joyner when he played at St. Thomas, and of course had a very successful career at college because he was able to do so many different things.
Yes, and that's what makes him diverse. He blocks a lot of kicks. He plays the cornerback position where he's fearless. He wants to go against everybody. So he's just going to make us all more competitive. And he's that kid who I think can get the room fired up and ready to play for each and every practice and game.
Coach, with the corners in Bandy and Dean, the thing that's common is that you were able to judge their talent based on South Florida speed, whether it was Dean when he was in high school or in the junior college level, and then of course Bandy's playing the best of the best down here in South Florida, and that's important when you're judging speed because the stopwatch is one thing, but that field speed and the ability to cover other athletes that are equal or maybe even a little bit better really tells you a lot in the process.
Yes, one of my advantages is being a head coach at American Heritage, and when I became the head coach, I put 5 Dade County teams on my schedule because I wanted to see that speed and I wanted to see how we competed in that speed and the atmosphere. You know, it's a little different down here. So to have two young kids that have been born and raised in that and been through the Little League in that, I know at the college level it'll be probably just another game for these guys, and they get to play in front of their friends and family as well.
Yeah, we mentioned Malik Young coming back, Mays coming back, Sheldrick Redwine coming back. So Bandy jumps in there with Dean. That gives you 5, 6 guys competing at cornerback. And then you and Coach Bandy have the working hand in hand. We haven't had a chance to talk about Amari Carter today, and comes in as a safety. And Carter's a big kid, another local player. What are your thoughts on Carter coming in here?
I'm very excited about Carter because he's from my home area, Palm Beach County, and we've done well as far as recruiting Palm Beach County, and they put out some really good players, and they have that competitive edge too with a good amount of speed. But he's a physical kid, very smart, just good to hear him in the living room, and he talks to you like a grown man. So I think he'll be awesome at the safety position because he's such a good communicator and so physical with his tackling.
Coach, you had an experience with Kalen Herbert. He's a guy that you had coached as well. Tell us what we don't know. What's not been published about him, because you coached him as a young man, and what was going to make him so special at the college level?
Kai loves to compete, and he's all about getting better. Travis Spiver over at American Heritage was his offensive line coach, did a great job with him, and Kai did a good job of going against some of the best defensive ends in the country. Brian Burns over at the other school that I won't say right now, but he was going against the best of the best. Andrew Chatfield, who's I can't talk about him, but one of the up and coming players that he went against every day made Kai that much better, and he never backed down. And I think that's one of the reasons that he got to where he is now, just his work ethic and just being very competitive.
You must have done a great job with him, coaching him as well, because Coach Searle says that he got great high school coaching.
Oh yeah, he's played in probably 3 state championships, so he's seen the best. And a lot of those Dade County teams that we had on our schedule, or South Florida teams, prepared him for what he's going to go through when he comes to the University of Miami.
John Bandy and Javante Dean, they're about ready to get coached up by Mike Rumph. All they got to do is ask Malik Young, who came in and played last year as a freshman coach. Thanks a lot for joining us. Congrats on the recruiting so far.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
All right, it's National Signing Day. That is Hurricanes cornerback coach Mike Rumph. Stay with us as we continue with more of National Signing Day right here from the University of Miami on ACC Network Extra.